Welcome back, everybody, to Around the Bloxxx with Mike Knoxxx. This is my Monday Night Raw review for tonight that took place in New York City. And listen, guys, as we are on our way down that road to how should we say, as I got interrupted here by the other YouTube picture that's up, it's okay. I digress. But as we get towards this road to WrestleMania, I mean, how good and how great has this road been thus far? I'm sorry, people. I mean, let's just be honest. A lot of people were not happy with where Fastlane took us, but it seems that the WWE has done what they've normally done, and that is find a way to make WrestleMania seem important to fans. And I think right now, like a well-oiled machine, which is the cog. I mean, they got the movie, got the Jetsons, right? So they are the cog to the machine, which is them. I mean, Spacely Sprockets, yes, they run smoothly, but the WWE around WrestleMania is flawless, and their winning percentage at building WrestleManias it continues. I mean, you may not like what you got, you may not like where things are going, and we talk about those things. Please make sure you go if you're all for podcast star, just Google me, and I'm not saying that to be a pun, no pun intended towards David Otunga, who came up with that, but seriously, go Google Mike Knoxxx with 3 X's. Google BDSIR Networks. It's in iTunes, it's in Stitcher, wherever podcasts are sold. And come on, we know they're all free, but this is my review for Monday Night Raw. And I mean, I'm going to run it down right now. Raw opens up with a great flashback of last week, because I thought last week's Raw, the way it went with the Seth Rollins situation, the whole thing, how it took place with Mick Foley, who was hitting on all cylinders, the whole thing with HBK and Roman Reigns that took place, all that. So they opened up with a beautiful video flashback package to Mick Foley coming out, reading a letter, which I thought was pretty odd to watch Mick Foley read this letter. But, he's apologizing and for all the things that he has done wrong as the general manager. Or Raw, make sure my phone is on vibrate, because it does have a tendency to go off when I'm shooting somewhere live. But all this takes place, and then comes and he rips it up. He's mad. He's upset about Triple H gave him these cards to read, okay, that he had to follow these things, and flipping out about, Triple H and everything. As you know, they cut off his mic. Out comes Stephanie McMahon. What else could you expect in that? Out comes Stephanie. They go back and forth. And listen, guys, you may not like the $1 billion princess. That means she's doing her job. Her job is to have you not like her. Okay, and she does a very good job at that. I am actually a fan of her. I love the fact that people boo her the way that they do. Shout out. Listen, guys, New York, big city of dreams. And everything in New York ain't always what it seems. But tonight, you must be fooled when you come from out of town, because New York knew how to be a wrestling town. I ain't a rapper, though. But, I mean, they were on tonight. They hit in the right spots. The only thing I didn't like with the CM Punk chant, that's become the, like doing the wave and the yes chant. It's just a cool thing to do now, is to have a CM Punk chant, but that's okay. The way the night went, they did a great job. The fans there, 2 thumbs up, fans. I'm always on fans and crowds, but New York did it really good tonight, and this would help this show be as good as it gets. But let me just go back and rewind a little bit. Just get the matches out the way, so I can start with where the best part of Raw is, and that was the end of Monday Night Raw. Or was it? But they had 6 matches on the card. We had Sami Zayn took on Samoa Joe. I call it Sami Zayn versus Destroyer Part 2, the winner of the Destroyer. And I asked a question with that. Is in comment below, let me know as well on the Facebook, on the Twitter, right here on the YouTube as well, on Around the Bloxxx with Mike Knoxxx. You can follow me on Twitter at Mike Knoxxx. That's with 3 X's. But come on now, people. You already know that. But what's actually next for Sami Zayn? What does Sami Zayn have for WrestleMania? Is he going to be in the Battle Royal? Seriously, what is Sami Zayn going to do? Match number 2, just a throw-in match to try to end the rivalry between Charlotte and Dana Brooks, winner there, Charlotte Flair. Match 3 took place in the second hour. So the first hour only had 2 matches on it. This is why I love Raw. Like last week's Raw, it's a promo-driven Raw, and that's what you should have going into WrestleMania, because wrestling is hashtag storyline. Let me rephrase that. Hashtag wrestling is storyline. Okay, then we had TJ Perkins versus D. Brian Kendrick. Winner D. Brian Kendrick. He goes on a mic about Tozawa and how he's doing him. They probably gonna be maybe have a WrestleMania kickoff match. That'll probably be good. Get both two cruiserweights on the show matches. Then we had match 4, which Stephanie McMahon spoke, and I'll get into that later on backstage, and said to Bayley, you know, because Mick saying his goodbyes after, Stephanie had 2 words for him, he was fired. Going backstage, he's saying his goodbyes to everybody, to Sheamus, to Cesaro, to like I said, the aforementioned cruiserweights. He's, congratulating them and saying his goodbyes to them, gives a big hug to the hugger herself, Bayley. All that takes place. So Stephanie sees all this going on as he's on his way out the door. Triple H is everything, something's going to happen there, maybe a beatdown note, just says, have a nice day, which I thought was pretty good. Great segment by them as well. But then she made a match saying that Bayley would take on Nia Jax in a no disqualification match. And if Nia Jax won the match, it would be turned into a triple threat match, into a fatal 4-way match at WrestleMania. We all felt like Nia deserved to be there. The way they've had the storylines going, where she's, how can you justify putting in one Sasha Banks and not have Nia Jax there? So I like how they put that in there. That gives us the ultimate, we don't know what's going to happen, and probably Bayley can get that win, being that, doesn't matter who she has to pin there. So they're going to have that match. And then match 5, which was announced, we had the handicap match. Well, also WrestleMania matches on the line. We had the handicap match between Enzo and Cass, Anderson and Gallo taking on Cesaro and Sheamus. Winner Cesaro and Sheamus, because Anderson and Gallo attacked their own partners, which, by the way, New York was very on and very hot for Enzo and Big Cass tonight. I loved it. That there's certain things that you get bored with, and it's always, to me, how the fans' perspective of looking at things. It's really a big gripe of mine. It's really something I like to harp on. It's like nails to a chalkboard to me. It's wrestling fans that just won't sit back and be wrestling fans. And I mean that. And I'm not, no disrespect. I may not agree with your opinion. You may not agree with my opinion. But ultimately, I do respect you. My only gripe with wrestling fans is that just to enjoy the show, it's never going to be what any of us want it to be. I guarantee if you get 5 wrestling fans into a room together, 5 will think 5 different ways. Okay, at best, you might have to agree to some degree, but then do something differently. We all want to be bookers. They are doing a good job. Just sit back and watch the show, and we complain later. But right now, as the road to WrestleMania. Also, we had Austin Aries take on Tony Nese. Winner was Austin Aries. And then we had the main event. Roman Reigns took on Braun Strowman, and that's where I will kick it off right now. Winner of this match, the fans. They were screaming for The Undertaker, and they got what they wanted. At home, were you screaming for The Undertaker? You got what you wanted. I'm sitting there saying they're not going to let Roman beat him again. I didn't think it hurt Braun Strowman the first time, but I thought if you do this again, this could hurt Braun Strowman if he won over again. So I like Taker came in the ring. He interrupted everything. You're thinking he's going to go right after Roman. He turns around. Remember, there is some kind of beef with Braun Strowman. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget or throw this in there as a cog to will we see Braun Strowman interfere somehow in that match at Mania with him and with Taker and Roman Reigns. And so with that taking place, and he turns around and Roman Reigns spears him. And I love the fact that when he chokeslammed and his back was turned, you gotta love the old vet, the old greedy vet himself. And Taker, you see him, he knows the camera's on him, saying, oh God, what did I do? Because he knew he was going to get speared. He takes the spear like on The Undertaker can. It's going off. You think the show is over. Up sits The Undertaker, gives him the big, my son does it really well. My son does a really good Undertaker eyes. He walks around giving people Undertaker eyes. But, and that's how the show goes off. Going back into the show a little bit, because I thought the end of Raw hit very well. But what I thought was the bigger part of the show tonight was Triple H in-ring interview towards Seth Rollins. It gave us the answer to what we all thought, or I liked it too. Let me rephrase how to word. I was happy sitting back, not knowing Seth Rollins' outcome, because before that happened, you had. I mean, that's my fault for going out of place there. But Seth Rollins' doctor it has an interview via satellite. He says how no doctor in America will clear him. he should not be back in weeks at all. Never said he would be back in weeks. You know, none of those things happen. No one will clear him. Triple H then goes with the interviews perfectly how they set this up. The storyline of this, again, hashtag wrestling is storyline. They set this up so perfectly. So he's interviewing him. He's going on. He's talking about how he's not this. They're going on about Foley. All this, you know, it was all good. All good episodic TV. This is just a small review. You get the big package on Fox Sports Radio 1340 and Fox AM and Fox Sports Radio 96.9. FM on the Soul and Sports. We'll talk about that. Then this is just my little snippet review. But then also with that taking place, it was like he challenged. He said, hey, you know what? I give you a chance. You want to come show me you're not a coward, Seth. And sign the paper to say you will not sue. So people said that he was ready. It's a good way to hype that match up. My question, and this is just me being a mark myself, is will I get my traditional Triple H entrance? That's what I want to see. Well, I'll be very sad because I will be at Mania if I don't get a Triple H entrance. I need to see it. I want to see it. My seats where I am is looking right down at the ramp. I want to see that. Also, we had Jericho come out there and try to expose Kevin Owens. I can't wait to get the Mania. I'm waiting purposely to get the Mania, get that Kevin Owens t-shirt, KO Mania 2. But Jericho goes on about how he was a mark for him as a kid, wanting to be like him. When he got signed to NXT, he showed the Twitter stuff. A lot of things that I like that the WWE did very good production-wise, which makes this a very good show. It did not feel like it was the 3 hours. At least to me, this time I watched it, did not feel like I watched for 3 hours. You can actually tell, by the way, I'm in a more energetic this week than I probably was the last couple of weeks doing this program. And I watched all 3 hours. No DVR, nothing like that. I watched all 3 hours live. But then you see him, he's making fun of him. So I want to be like him. He asked him for advice when he first came into NXT. Is what I was getting back to. And all these things, the crowd is popping. Jericho in New York, it's great. And then out comes Samoa Joe. I like how they mentioned the alliance. And by the way, the commentary tonight, like the fans, 2 thumbs up. Corey Graves, you are on the verge of being very, very good at commentary. I really do. I like how you play with play off of Michael Cole and Byron Saxton. I really do dig I like the trio there between those guys. Then as the Destroyers on the stage, only to distract him while Kevin Owens goes to work on Chris Jericho, rips up the list. Another great segment on Raw. I cannot think of a segment on Raw tonight that they did not hit on in a very, very good, positive, moving along the storyline way. It was incredibly good. Even to later on that match, you had Austin Aries and his match with Tony Nese. After the match was over, you had the Cruiserweight champion, the King himself, come out. They even pumped that storyline. I didn't really, if any segment I did not like, it was probably that one. And just, you know, that's it. I liked it, but it wasn't the best segment. That's probably the worst segment of the night. And tonight was a very good success, in my opinion. But then ripping up the list and all that, going back to Jericho and Kevin Owens, that match is going to be great. I like how even in the ads, they kept pumping Smackdown. That was good. It feels like it's WrestleMania season. I feel like I'm missing something here, guys. But I thought I hit on all cylinders. I got the King of the Cruiserweights. Oh, there it is. The New Day. Not supposed to be on television, as most people thought. Guess what? Were they? They were not live. They were pre-taped. They, poke fun at what we all know, or insinuated what we all know was going on with Xavier Woods and the leaked tape between him, Greg Maddox, and Paige, and that whole scenario. And he was primarily, the center of the end of their promo, which was also very good tonight. Tonight, Raw was really, really good, guys. Listen, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5. Only reason why I'm giving it 4 out of 5 and not a 4.5 or a 5 is because next week is the go home show. And I'm hoping they can bump it up to a 4.5. And a 5 is safe for special Raws like the Raw after Mania last year they had and Raws that they've had going to that. So this is a good 4. Good solid show. 4 out of 5. And I've been debating this part since the show was over on what belt to give it for how I feel in my feelings. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. It was great television, so I got to go to my favorite belt. It's my favorite belt of all time. 4 out of 5. Arn Anderson television titles because it was great television, people. I absolutely love Monday Night Raw tonight. What did you think? As Jeremy Johns would say, it's not mine, it's Nietzsche's. Comment below. Let me know. Facebook, you know who I am, Mike Pierman Sr. That's my government. But you know what I go by here on the internet right now. Follow me at Mike Knoxxx. That's MIKEKNOXXX on the Twitter. Follow Talk Perfect Plex. Follow Soul and Sports. And follow 1340 AM Fox Sports Show. Listen, around the blocks with Mike Knoxxx. This was, what did you think about Monday Night Raw? 4 out of 5 Arn Anderson television titles. 4 Horsemen, baby. What a great show.